It's gas not sold to the president's new stimulus plan, in particular, the billions in new spending. And I'm talking about a Democratic Congresswoman, Ann Kirkpatrick of Arizona, joining me now. Congresswoman, very good to have you. What do you make of the president's spending initiative here? We're trying to get a price tag on a man, very difficult to do. The spending part of it is at least $50 billion, probably tens of billions more, hard to quantify, but you're saying no more of that. Why not?
Yeah, I'm so disappointed that the president's talking about more spending. I'm looking for low-cost jobs projects in my district, job projects that require federal action, no dollars, and some major projects that are going to hire thousands of people in my congressional district. I can't believe I'm the only congressional district in that situation. Let's look for low-cost jobs projects that get folks back to work. And let's look at
did you vote for any of these other initiatives, ma'am, in the past? Either the first stimulus, any TARP, new spending, any of the above?
I've opposed all of the bailouts, the bank bailouts, the auto bailouts. To me, we should be helping small businesses.
How about health care? Did you vote for the health care reform?
And I voted for the health care vote. I thought that was the right vote for my district.
Right.
But I've always been an independent voice for the folks in my district. And, people are really suffering out there. They still need jobs. It's about jobs and getting folks back to work. I've been out there over the last 6 weeks talking with a lot of folks and small businesses, and they're telling me, look, we cut our pay, and then we had to ask our employees to cut their pay. And that's why I think Congress needs to cut our pay. While I think that Congress can do for 95 cents on a dollar what they're doing now, we've got to lead by example.
So what would you do? What would you do?
Yeah, I introduced the congressional pay cut bill, cutting our salaries by 5%. And I think we have to lead by example. I write a check every month for $870 to the Bureau of Public Debt. But the point is
and what kind of reaction have you gotten?
Before we can ask, overwhelming reaction.
Overwhelming reaction
75% of Americans.
Well, I'm sure the American people like it. What about your colleagues?
Well, there's nothing like asking a colleague, looking them straight in the eye and asking them to take a cut in pay. I'm not very popular with my colleagues right now, but it's the right thing to do. And the American people are saying it's the right thing to do.
Congresswoman, I do not mean this to take offense or for you to take offense, but is that sort of like a Hail Mary pass on your part? You were considered one of the vulnerable Democrats, fairly or not, in this tidal wave that seems to be going out against all incumbents, and that this is something your critics say you just cooked up to try to take the attention off either the health care vote or your party's consistent troubles, some of your opposition votes notwithstanding.
I grew up in rural Arizona. My dad ran a general store. It's one of my core principles. I grew up learning to do more with less, and I've been saying, Washington needs to do the same. Folks are tightening their belts, and we need to do the same thing. And quite frankly, I'm making now more than I've ever made. My last job, I made about $24,000 a year. I've never increased my standard of living. I still drive the same car. And, I was out on my sidewalk in December shoveling snow with my neighbors, and they're all telling me they're getting pink slip, they're getting furloughed, they're having their hours cut. And I said, you know what, Congress should do the same thing. And I firmly believe that. It's not a partisan issue. I have more support for this pay cut bill than any previous pay cut, and it would be the first time in 77 years that Congress has taken a cut in pay. And I don't know anyone in our country who hasn't had to cut their pay in 77 years. I'm really frustrated that leadership has not gotten behind this effort. Maybe now that they've heard that 75% of the American people really believe this is the right thing to do, maybe they'll get behind me.
Has Speaker Pelosi told you it's a good idea?
No. And leadership has not gotten behind me on this, and it's frustrating.
All right, Congresswoman, thank you very much. Good seeing you.
Thank you, Neal.